The first course today comes from Portland, Oregon, and Chef John Pence. He offers a version of veal sweetbreads with a balsamic mustard seed sauce and a roasted shallot garnish. For the entree, we travel to the Fancy City Grill in Atlanta. Chef Roger Kaplan serves soft-shell crab with a yellow tomato vinaigrette and lobster slaw. Finally, dessert is prepared by Marty Blitz from his Tampa, Florida restaurant Mise. It is Mojo Sabayon served in phyllo cup with strawberry guava hot pepper coulis. John Pence, with his wife Capriel, is co-owner and chef of Westmoreland Bistro and Wines in Portland. He worked in several Seattle restaurants, including Fuller's at the Sheraton Hotel, before coming to Portland. His hefty appetizer is veal sweetbreads with mustard balsamic demi-glace and roasted shallots. The sweetbreads are first poached with aromatics.
I'm going to finish it with some bay leaf and some peppercorns. And all I'm going to do is just bring this up to a boil and they're done.
This is a mirepoix of coarsely chopped onion, celery, carrot, and garlic.
Now while the sweetbreads are poaching, I'm going to roast some shallots in the oven. And all I do is just peel them like this. And I put them in a pan with about 1/4 inch of olive oil. And I'm just going to fill this pan with shallots, and I'm going to roast it in an oven about 350 to 375 degrees, covered with foil or a top. Make sure the shallots are nice and covered with the olive oil. Like I said, you can put a piece of foil on it or cover it with something else. And I'm just going to put another pan on it just like that. And place it in the oven.
350 degrees for 45 minutes. After the sweetbreads are poached, they are cooled and sautéed.
Now when your sweetbreads are done, they're going to have kind of a grayish tint to them. They're going to be nice and firm. Now when you have your sweetbreads, there's a couple ways you can cook them. I like to leave them whole like this, but I like to take off some of the membrane that's on here. These particular sweetbreads are pretty clean already, and there's not a lot of the membrane, but some of them have a lot of it on it, and this is something you want to take off. Now when you take the sweetbreads, all I'm going to do is dust them in a little bit of flour with some salt and pepper. Like so. So when your pan is hot, add your sweetbreads.
Sautéed in olive oil.
Just let them sit there, and we want to get them brown on both sides. We're going to get them brown on both sides. I'm going to transfer them to another pan, and I'm going to cook them in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. We cook them all the way through. Now when the sweetbreads are browned, I'm going to transfer them to another pan. And we're going to finish them in the oven.
The sauce is started with chopped shallot.
We're going to add our balsamic vinegar. And our red wine. About equal amounts of each one. Then I have some mustard seeds I'm going to add. And what you want to do is when you're making the sauce, you want your liquid to reduce to there's almost nothing left. And then we're going to add a demi-glace. Now I made a demi-glace here ahead of time, and all that is a veal stock that's prepared ahead of time and reduced. By reducing it, you're going to really enhance the flavor. It's going to be really nice and potent. It's going to be an excellent demi-glace. That's what a demi-glace is. It's a stock reduced by half. So once this reduces down, I'm going to add the demi-glace. And then we're going to let this cook down. Now when the demi-glace is reduced, I add a little bit of cream. And we let that reduce down. When you add cream, it doesn't matter if your liquid that you're boiling is hot, because the cream won't curdle like if you were adding milk. Now you can see that the cream is reduced down and the sauce is starting to get thick. So we're going to finish it off with a little bit of mustard, some Dijon mustard, just about a tablespoon. A little bit of butter. We're going to whisk that in.
The sauce is strained.
The butter also adds in help thickening the sauce, and just adds that little touch more flavor to it. I'm going to remove the shallots from the oven. You see how they're nice and brown. Strain off some of the oil off of them. Just place them right on the plate. Our sweetbread should be just about finished. Pull those from the oven. Put those on the plate just like so. I took some red onions before, and I just charred them off for a little bit of garnish. And if you have any fresh herbs in your garden, just garnish with that. I have a little bit of savory.
After graduation from the CIA, Roger Kaplan worked in several Washington, D.C. restaurants, then stints in Virginia and Dallas. He helped open the St. Martin resort La Samana as executive sous chef, then came to the City Grill in 1993. His entree is soft-shell crab with a tomato sauce and lobster slaw. The vinaigrette is started by softening garlic, onions, celery, and shallots.
The vegetables have been sauteed, so they're tender now. We're going to add white wine. And allow that to reduce. So when our wine is reduced down, we've taken out some of all the excess alcohol out of it. We're going to add our tomatoes. And we're also going to add some water. And then we're going to add fresh basil. And because we're going to blend this, we don't really have to chop it up. And then we have some thyme that we've taken the stems off also. We'll season with some salt and black pepper. And we'll allow this to simmer until the tomatoes have become very tender and the liquid has reduced itself down.
The mixture is then blended.
Always start a blender with hot liquids on slow, please. That way you don't decorate your ceilings. Right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the blender back on and we're going to slowly add, our champagne vinegar that's here and about a half a cup of canola oil. So we'll do that. Now we'll prepare the lobster coleslaw. We need to add the cabbage that we've finely shredded. We have spinach that's also finely shredded. A nice julienne of carrots. Sticks. If you don't want to take the time to do the sticks, you can grate them on a box grater. It will have the same flavor. Okay. We also have a nice julienne of red onion, and we have some julienne tomatoes.
Pre-cooked lobster is roughly chopped.
I'll add that in. We're going to take 1 lemon. We'll zest the outside and get the lemon zest. And then we want the juice from this side, the inside. And watch out for seeds. Okay. To this now we'll add some canola oil. Salt and black pepper. And we want to toss this well.
The chef prepares 2 soft-shell crabs. One is cut in half and the other cooked whole.
We're going to take flour with salt and pepper to season it. And we're going to place our soft shells in there and dredge them. And then we're going to dip them in buttermilk. We'll shape off the excess flour and place them in. We want to coat those well, and then we're going to place them back into the flour again.
The crabs are cooked in a preheated cast iron skillet with a ½ inch of canola oil.
Always add this stuff to the pan away from you, so if it splashes, you now we're going to cook both sides.
Presentation begins by mirroring the plating with the tomato vinaigrette.
Spoon some on and basically swirl the plate so that we get it, it'll mirror the whole surface. Place it there. We place our large soft shell that we have not cut in half, the belly side up here, and we place these that way and that way. These legs here will become the holder for our slaw. You can weave the legs in if they don't want to stand very well. You then grab a nice amount of the slaw and start to pile it at the center. Make sure you put all the lobster goodies at the top. And then we'll garnish it with two chives. Mise en Place is a popular bistro in Tampa that features the cooking of Marty Blitz. Raised in Detroit, he is a CIA graduate and earned a Rising Star Award from the Beard Society. His dessert, prepared in the turbulent hullabaloo of lunch prep, is Mojo Sabayon in phyllo dough.
All right, this dish is dessert. It's a Mojo Sabayon with a phyllo basket that is made with Brazil nuts. And it has a strawberry guava serrano pepper sauce to go with it, and a fresh fruit garnish. We'll start with the phyllo. What we want to do is lay a sheet down, butter it pretty generously. We're going to sprinkle our mixture of Brazil nuts that have been lightly toasted, blended with granulated sugar. Okay, we'll repeat this procedure 3 times.
The phyllo is cut into squares and pressed into a buttered muffin pan.
And we'll bake this for approximately 8 to 10 minutes. It doesn't take that long because of the sugar between the layers helps quicken the cooking process. We'll place it in a preheated oven about 350 to 400 degrees, and we'll let that cook. While that's cooking, we'll prepare our sauce. We'll start with about a pint or so of clean strawberries, a little bit of guava jelly, a little bit of sugar, a touch of water. You don't really want too much water because the juice from the strawberries will release a lot of water, and you don't want it to be too runny. And a couple hot peppers. It's okay to leave it a little coarse because we're going to puree this up anyways and strain it. So, and we're going to let this cook. While this is cooking, we can prepare Sabayon.
The Sabayon begins with egg yolks.
All right. Since we add our Mojo orange juice, which is basically a sour orange, and the zest of the orange. If you don't have the Mojo orange, you can always use a blend of lemon and orange or lime and orange to get the tartness that you're looking for. A little bit of our granulated sugar. and also Grand Marnier, which I had mixed with the juice. What we're going to do at this point is whip this together. So it thickens fairly thick.
The finished mixture is cooled and whipped cream was added.
Okay, we're going to fold our cream into it. We're going to start by adding a little bit to soften it up. We'll use a whip for this part of it. Okay, now we'll fold the rest of the cream in. Basically whipped cream, lightly whipped to fairly stiff peaks. And we'll just fold this in gently.
The strawberry guava mixture is processed, strained, then put into a squeeze bottle for presentation.
What we do is we strain the sauce, and we use one of these squeeze bottles. We'll just basically pretty heavy on the plate. We take our shell, we'll put our finished Sabayon. Couple berries. This we like kind of a kiwi. At this point, we're going to drizzle our chocolate sauce basically over the top of the Sabayon. A little bit of the zest. And then we'll finish with a light sprinkling of powdered sugar. And then last, a little bit of fresh mint. See this stick up here? There you go.